Hi there, I'm Dylanson, and this is the second episode of Amateur Hour, a program in which we want to learn how to program. In our first episode, we did a little digging about how to learn to program and how to teach yourselves these skills. Now we found the CS50 course on YouTube, and hopefully we'll learn how to program during this course. At the end of today, hopefully we'll be writing down our first lessons of code. So yeah, I guess it's time. It's time for Amateur Hour. Alright, it looks like it knows exactly where we left off the last time, so let's just continue on the course. I think we were learning about binary counting and how the PC program knows how to recognize what your zeros and ones should be translated to on the PC. So yeah, let's see what is the next part of our course. He just talks about the difference between a correct algorithm and a deficient algorithm. A correct algorithm will give you the correct solution, so it will give you the solution that is right, and an efficient algorithm will find you the answer, well, fast, I mean. It said, and in programming languages you will have to learn how to translate your intuition into program lines. If you use a better algorithm, you can decrease the amount of time it takes to find your solution. Pseudocode translates your idea to something that is close to what code is. Okay. I wonder if making pseudocode gets harder as you get better at programming. He just said that you never have to forget about corner cases. For instance, in this example they said, well, you're looking in phone book to find John Harvard, and they gave a lot of lines about how to find that person, and line 12 and 13 you can see on screen are else quit. So he talked about, yeah, what if John Harvard is just not in the phone book? You have to think of that as well, and that's why they added that else quit. And he said that there's a lot of bugs programmers, even good programmers, get by not considering all corner cases. That suddenly was quite a few terms they talked about. They talked about functions, conditionals, Boolean expressions, and loops. So that's a lot of words that normally will not be used that much in common language, I guess. So I'm just going to try to reiterate them. Functions were things that will make actions happen on your PC, or conditionals were... Actually, it sounds like I need to listen to that part again.
A few moments later.
Alright, so functions, they make something happen. Conditionals, only under circumstances do this. Boolean expressions were things that have a yes or no answer. And loops made sure you go back to an earlier part in the code. They make things cycle through the code again, so that's the go back to. I guess there are very many different ways of creating a loop. Okay, so he actually explained how we're going to be using Scratch, which is a programming learning tool, I guess, where you don't get to write actual code, but you do get to use expressions which are usually found in code. So he's showing an example of how to use the Scratchy to make your first whatever name is of the person using the program, and they intentionally showed an incorrect way of finding the name of the person using the program. They're saying like, yeah, we use hello and then we use the input of whatever the player typed down, but of course the hello takes only 1,000th of a second to show, and then it immediately shows the answer of the person. So now he's just going over different ways of showing in a way that people can process the correct answer. He is going to show now how to make a loop out of a continuous function you give it. So I'm going to guess that he's going to make something like until red stop button meow, something like that. He just said that if you don't use loops, then you increase the chance of screwing up, making a mistake somewhere, and yeah, you can prevent that by using loop. Abstraction can turn a piece of coding into something more abstract. In this case, they turned meow, then wait a second into the text meow, and yeah, they use a lot less text in order to use the function meow. They just said that if you get better at programming, you'll also get better at turning something which is a very big assignment into very small chunks. And eventually that is something you train over time while you're programming more and more. So they just use the video motion detection to, when you move fast enough in front of the camera, make the cat make the sound meow. But the problem was that the camera only looks at the speed at which you're moving, not the location at which you're moving. So you could move the camera well in front of the camera but away from the cat and still get the meow sound. So that's not entirely the correct answer we are looking for here. He just reiterated how important it is to turn a big project into multiple smaller parts so you don't get overwhelmed. Alright, and with that we've come to the end of our second amateur hour. So yeah, we saw some coding done with Scratchy, and I hope that we're going to be using that in our next amateur hour, because it looks like actually kind of a bit fun and not that hard to use. So hopefully we'll use that in our next amateur hour. But for now, we're done. See you in the next episode.